this pertains more to people who are involved in music. But do you think physical distribution of music as a medium, do you think that's kind of on its way out? It seems like it's diminishing. You see record stores, these new CD stores closing left and right, it would seem. Vinyl's on its way back because people want a more physical product, a more real product when they buy music. Do you see the eventual demise of physical distribution of music?
I don't think that, like you're saying, I don't think it's ever going to like totally go away, because it is nice to hold like something in your hand. I think, like you're saying, that's why vinyl is kind of coming back a little bit. CDs, I mean, they're kind of crappy in the first place. They scratch real easy and stuff. But yeah, I don't think that it's going to totally go away. But it's definitely, diminishing a lot compared to what it used to be.
I do think it's going to totally go away in the way that we perceive it right now. I'm not saying, I agree that people want to hold something in their hand and they want to have the artwork, they want to have it right there. But I don't think it's going to be the way physical purchase of music the way that we do it right now. I think that maybe there'll be something else that's sold that people will collect and hold on to and be proud of and show people and so forth, but I don't know if it's going to be that same way of going into a record store or even Best Buy or somewhere and purchasing a CD, in the physical state that it's in right now.
Yeah, I think though that one of the things that's kind of keeping it alive is like a lot of music like hip hop and country and where people that aren't necessarily savvy in social media or maybe even have a computer, that's still like, that's how they're going to get their stuff. They're going to go to Walmart and get it. But of course, computers and social media are kind of getting bigger and bigger. But that's maybe one of the things that, because one of the biggest consumers of music are those people. Like whenever you see like a platinum record, it's usually like a hip hop artist or a pop artist or something, and that's where those people are buying those records. And so
I guess that physical distribution is still more important for your larger artists.
Yeah, again, like pop artists, American Idol, finalists, things like that. But for the majority of artists, it's getting less and less. And I mean, major labels, they can't support themselves on just like a few artists alone. So.
We're kind of, with the physical distribution, we're kind of talking about traditional industry, recording, distribution, and filmmaking to an extent. Independent filmmakers, I don't know exactly how much social media is really changing that for them in terms of getting money for actual production. But what, between all three of you, what do the traditional industries still do better than independents? There's a lot of things. Promotion is being done, at least I think so, at least in more innovative ways than traditional industry is, but what is traditional industry still much better at than independent freelance artists?
Well, kind of like I was saying, I mean, if you want to get on pop radio, then yeah, you kind of need to be signed to a major label. But I mean, back in like the 50s and 60s, and when there was only a handful of radio stations, it's like that's where everyone got their music. It was so important, everyone was listening to the same hit single. Now, like, if Mariah Carey had a hit single, there's a lot less people of the population that are going to even know that song. So, like, it's kind of more niche market and stuff. So, but yeah, if you're still trying to get the Walmart, you're still trying to get on pop radio, then that's where major labels and big industry distribution is going to help you.
Well, are you asking what traditional industries still would be beneficial to an independent filmmaker?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think independent filmmakers get them. I don't think that it's all run by movie studios and movie studios that have their independent films and labels. They have labels as well, like Magnolia or something. So Weinstein. But they're not independent, they're not bootstrapping it. They're a machine behind it. So I think it's about to change. And the filmmakers that are independent and don't have that studio financing behind them are now going to be able to get the word out and get their fans using social media, and they're not going to have to depend on the marketing machine, PR machine of old days that spends millions of dollars on advertising and commercials. I mean, now everybody now itself now, and so things are changing, and I think the studios are getting a little nervous, actually.
Yeah, so what role specific, is it promotion mostly that independents are being able to do as well as or better than major studios? Is there anything else that social
Well, they're
media?
doing it cheaper,
Cheaper, right. I can see that could be better.
yes. But, you know, it's a lot more work. It's a lot more elbow grease, so to speak. Wrist
Move it, just
the mouth.
keep on working on it. Jessica?
I don't know that I have anything new to say. I would duplicate everything that Joel said. I think it all is the difference of the radio and what your goals are in terms of that. And I definitely think that's changing since you can hear all these different artists than you would ever have been able to in the 50s, 60s, even in the 70s and 80s and before.
Now, you were talking earlier about how you still go out and hand out flyers and handbills, put up flyers, do all of that. Do you think that non-physical promotion, soft promotion, social media kind of things, is that ever going to actually replace putting boots on the ground and going out and talking to people about upcoming events and shows?
Yes and no, because sort of the same thing we were just saying about wanting to have an album or a CD. I feel like when I was growing up and going to concerts, I had a huge collection of posters and handbills, and I still have some of them. And those are the things you want as a kid. You want to take that stuff in with you. And I think that's, I can't really see that going away. I still see kids walk up to the door, at the show that I'm doing, and they see a flyer with like stacks of handles. They're like, ooh, I want this, and they start grabbing them because they want to take them home. But that said, I wouldn't give up on it right now, because I think that's where a lot of people find out about concerts, is they see a poster in a restaurant, or they see it as they're walking to a class at BCU, but at the same time, it's certainly going to go away because it's not environmentally friendly at all. It is a huge waste of paper, and ultimately, I think that society will frown on that type of promotion. They should already, but we still use it a great deal today.
Amy, same question. Do you see soft promotion, social media promotion ever really overtaking physical promotion? Or has it already within your industry?
Well, physical being like posters and
Yeah,
stuff?
anything that relies on a printing press, I guess.
Yeah, I think at film festivals, it's still going to be, you smother your stuff everywhere to make people try and get them to come to your film, because the bigger audience you have at a film festival, the more notice you're going to get by a distributor. But that's film festivals are now changing too, and they're starting to become distributors in their own right. And so that they're going to have their own distribution channels as well, and start streaming the films that they're showing from their film festival, or selling the DVD, or so you can actually see the film festival without having to be there. So, like she said, a little bit, but I still think you still have to have the pretty glassy poster, or little. At film festivals, we kind of like little postcards, So, because you can put on the back a sticker saying where it's screening and the times and stuff. But in terms of major theater release, I don't think you need it. Maybe they'll start making digital movie poster things at theaters. And then you throw your JPEG. I didn't know that.
If you've ever been to New York, they actually already,
See?
already have them.
I have been to New York.
I
I'll look for that.
thought it was fun how you used to see the triple billboards that would, all the different lines would switch. They'd have 3 posters in one spot, and now those are being replaced by LCD screens. And if Back to the Future is right, there'll be holograms soon, which I can't wait to see. Joel, are you still doing physical promotion?
Yeah, like Jessica was saying, we still kind of just more focused places. Like there's certain places where that the type of people hang out that you want to come to the show. That definitely helps. In record stores and stuff like that. So I don't know if it'll ever totally go away, but more like targeted and way less than